Good. So, all right. So, how's it going, guys? So, let's go ahead. Let me see how many people are. 7 people only. Okay. Well, I hope they know how to do this. But this is. Are you guys done with the funds? Was it funds that you had, or?
Yeah, they stopped at 1.
1 o'clock. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and start, and then whoever joins can join later on. So when you solve, I'm going to go over the acid base basically problems. That's the most significant one that you need to know. The others you can look up information and find it, but this is what requires you to solve problems with. So let's say that this is the normal value. So this is what you need to actually know all the time by heart. Forget about the oxygen here. Just make sure that you know the pH is what, 7.35 to 7.45. Carbon dioxide 35 to 45, and bicarbonate is 22 to 26. So by knowing this right away, if you look at the first one, you're going to create a chart like that for yourself. That would be the simplest way. So in creating a chart like this, then you're going to plug in whichever in here. So let's say start with the pH. What do you think the pH is that acidic, basic, or what?
Basic.
Basic. So you're going to take the pH here, okay, and you're going to put it under acidosis, okay? Now, let's go into this. So this is what? PaCO2, 25. Now, 25, is that lower than 35 or higher than 35?
Acidic.
Is it acidic?
It's basic.
Basic. Why?
Yeah, it's the other way. It's flipped.
The other way. You understand? So don't confuse this. So let me just take the points here. Forget about the. So this one. All right. So this one goes where? Is that acidic or basic? We said.
Basic.
Okay. So it goes in here. So you put the POCO2. Okay. POCO2 here. All right. Okay, so the next thing you need to know is this one here. So HCO3, 20, is that acidic or basic?
Acidic.
So it's below what? It's below 22, so you move into the acidic, because anything above 26 is basic. So this one is what? This one acidic.
Mm-hmm.
So you put that down here.
Dr. J.
Dr. J, with the pH,
Yeah.
shouldn't that be basic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one? This one?
You have it in acidosis instead of alkalosis.
Yeah.
pH is 7.52.
Okay, 20. Listen,
alkalosis.
22.
The pH.
No, the pH.
The pH should be basic. Yes.
Yeah, you
Why
have
it's in acidosis.
Sorry. Okay. Keep an eye on me, okay?
Mhm.
All right. So pH, basic. PCA2 25 is what we said? Is that acidic or basic?
Lower.
Basic.
Basic. So it goes in here. All right. HCO3, acidic or basic?
Acidic.
So what is your diagnosis now? This is your diagnosis right there. So what would that be? So it's CO2. CO2 is respiratory or metabolic?
Respiratory.
Respiratory.
So respiratory. Okay.
Alkalosis.
And then is it
Alkalosis.
alkalosis or okay, alkalosis?
Partially compensated.
Okay, now is it compensated or not?
Partially.
Partially.
Okay, so it's partially. Why it's partial? So it is compensated, right? So it's compensated because what? Because this guy moved down, right? So when this moved down, that means it's compensated. Now, is it complete, fully, or partially?
Partially.
Why is it partially?
Because the pH is abnormal.
Because the pH is not normal, correct. So that's your answer. Easy enough?
So when the pH is not normal, that would be a good indication that it's partially compensated?
If it's within normal range, it's fully compensated. If this is like 7.4 to between 7.35 to 7.45, it's fully compensated. If it's just close to the normal, but it's not within normal, it's partially.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's do this one here. All right, what do we got? pH 7.29. What is that? Acidic or basic?
Acidic.
So take that. Okay, pH acidic because it's below what? 7.35, correct?
Too fine. Yes.
All right, so what about PaCO2? Is that acidic or basic?
Acidic.
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 So
That in here. How about this guy?
Basic.
That's basic.
Basic. Why? Because the max is what?
26.
26. So you put that under alkaline. Okay. What's your diagnosis?
Respiratory
Respiratory
acidosis.
acidosis.
Partial compensation.
So respiratory acidosis with, did it move down? Did it move up? Well,
It
it actually, it's, you know, so it's a little bit above, you know, so it's trying to compensate, isn't it? So it's trying to compensate because these guys move together, right?
Right.
So this one goes up, this one goes up. So it went up one shot. So it's again partially compensated. Okay. All right, let's do this one here. So what do you got here?
Okay.
It's normal.
Normal.
It's normal. How about this guy?
It's
Acidic.
acidic.
Okay, so it's more than 45, so it's acidic.
Mhm.
How about this guy?
Basic.
Basic.
All right, what's your diagnosis?
It's a mixed diagnosis of respiratory alkalosis or of acidosis alkalosis.
Wouldn't it be more like respiratory acidosis since like the pH is closer to like acid, even though it's normal?
So if it's normal, what that, it's that, okay, let's do one at a time, okay? So is this, this is acidosis, right? And the pH is what? It's normal, but if it's within normal, it must be what? Fully compensated, right? Let's say fully compensated for it. So it's fully compensated.
Is it metabolic alkalosis because
That's-
the
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
PaCO2 is compensating more for the?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is fully compensated, is it? But it's moving more toward what? So
Acid.
Towards acidosis.
what's the mid-range? 7.4. So is that below 7.4 or above 7.4?
Below.
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 It's moving toward what? The acid, maybe?
Mhm.
Right? So you can say acid, okay, if you want. Now, this one here is 50, okay? And this one here is alkalosis here and acidosis here. So it's more of the acidosis, but it's fully compensated. So which one do you pick, this guy or this guy? Which one is this acidotic?
PaCO, respiratory.
It's fully compensated because why?
Because the pH is normal.
And did this move down? Did this move up a little bit like this one?
Yeah.
It did. So that,
So
that
Dr.
would be-
J,
yeah, go ahead.
in a case where you had the pH of 7.4, what would you do then?
Excellent. If I have a 7.4 here, and
Yeah.
with exactly this, this is
Mhm.
the this is a combined acidosis alkalosis fully compensated
Oh, combine. Okay. Cool.
because I have this and I have this. So I have this and I have this combined, but fully compensated with a 7.4.
Okay.
But how would, if it was fully compensated, how would we know whether to choose respiratory or metabolic?
Okay, I will do one in a second. I'll show you what the value, you gotta look at the value, which one is more than the other. So here, for example, the separation between what's 50 minus 40, what's the highest that this can go up to? 45, right? So 50 minus 45 is 5. How about here? How much did it move up?
2.
2.
2.
Oh,
So which
get
one
it
is
now.
higher? the 5. So it leans toward respiratory.
Quick-
I thought, oh, because during class, I thought you had said that the one that goes like higher
Yes, yes,
range
yes,
was compensating.
yes, I did.
Oh, that's not it. So you erased that from my head.
Yeah, this is with the case of hold on a second, because we have another question with different numbers though. It'll make it look more clear. So let's leave this here. Let's go to the
That's
next one here. Yeah, go ahead.
Quick question.
Before we go.
I know for the normal values for the PaCO2 was the 35 to 45, right?
Say again.
The normal range of values for the CO2, that's 35 to 45.
Yeah, yes.
The only question I have is when it leaning higher than 45, why would it be acidic more than base? I thought it'd be more base than
No.
it would be acidic.
CO2 is acid. Think of CO2 as acid. The higher it is, the more acidic.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, CO2, think of it as an acid. The higher the CO2 is, the more acidic you are.
Gotcha.
The more CO3 you are, the more alkaline. So this is a base. So the more we give you this, the more basic you are. The more we give you this, the more acidic you are. So think of CO2 as an acid, even though it's not, but you know, it joins a hydrogen actually to become carbonic acid. So think of this as acid more often than anything else. All right?
Thank you.
Okay. We'll do one at a time. I think we're going to come, Betsy, to the one that you want. So we'll come to it in a second here. So this one here, what do we have?
Normal.
Normal.
Okay, so pH is what?
Normal.
Normal.
How about PaCO2?
You got
Acidic.
sick.
Very acidic.
How about this guy?
Basic.
Very basic.
So what do you have now? This is within normal range. So is it fully compensated?
Yes.
Yes.
So it is. So it's fully compensated. So fully compensated. All right. Now you want to know which one is it? Is it here or is it here? Now this is moving toward what more?
Basic.
Acidic.
Basic. So it's an
Sorry,
alkalosis,
wrong
isn't
way.
it? So which is alkalosis? This one. So what would that make it?
Metabolic.
Metabolic. Oh, I think I get it now.
Okay. Yeah. Always do this chart, you know, when you do your problems and put them together and you'll come up with the right answer. Okay. How about this one?
Okay.
pH is acidic.
That is
The pH is acidic.
Yeah, it's partially compensated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Acidic.
pH acidic or basic?
Acidic.
as well?
It's acidic.
How about PaCO2?
Basic.
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 And then
Mhm.
that's acidic.
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 Your diagnosis.
Partially compensated metabolic acidosis.
Partially compensated.
Is it compensated?
Partially.
All right. We're coming to yours. Betsy, hang in there. It's coming. These are straightforward, you guys, right? So what do you think this is here? If you have low plasma PCO2, are you respiratory or metabolic or what?
Respiratory.
Respiratory.
Okay, with low PCO2 makes it what? Respiratory what?
Alkalosis.
Aquatic.
Alkalotic.
So
Respiratory
respiratory.
alkalosis.
Mhm. So this is the answer. What about this one?
Metabolic alkalosis.
Yeah. Metabolic.
And metabolic acidosis.
So low HCO3 is acidosis.
Sorry.
So
Metabolic acidosis. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just read that.
how about this one?
Metabolic alkalosis.
About this.
Respiratory.
Respiratory acidosis.
Bless you.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's see if we have them right. Let me see here. Just checking the answer key, just to make sure that we're good.
While you're looking, Dr. J, how many questions are there going to be for like how many of these types of questions are there going to be on the exam?
I think about 20 to 25.
Okay.
So if you know this concept, you're going to get them all right.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes I'll give you a little scenario, sometimes I don't. So we're doing one without a scenario, so automatically you'll know how to do them, you know?
Do you know
So
what format it's gonna be in, or you're not allowed to tell us?
no, they're going to be basically multiple choice, and then they're fused zetas.
Okay. No, I was curious because I thought it might be in the format of like this question, or I think question
Oh
20.
yeah, it'll be similar. You know, it'll be like a case. A patient came in, so and so ABGs are blah 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 blah. What's the diagnosis or so? So it's straightforward. You know, some of them are straightforward. Some of them are a little tricky. Okay, you need to look at the question, because I will not give you. You know, I'll give you, for example, vomiting. You know, or diarrhea. You know, we know that diarrhea is what? Acidosis, right? Right away, you think of that as an acidosis. So even though you're not getting the PCO2 in this case, you think of acidotic. You know, if I say abdominal diarrhea, GI stuff, and all that, right away it's metabolic acidosis. See how it goes? So either with signs and symptoms, or it could be with the ABGs.
In total, how many questions do we have?
All right, so 70.
70? Okay.
Tuberculosis, acidosis, partial respiratory acidosis, fully compensated. Okay. Metabolic, partially compensated. Good. So, so let's look at the next one, which is this one here. All right, so what do we have here? Let's just take this here and copy and paste here so we can do this. This is the answer. So this is just choosing the answer automatically. So all right, let's all right, so this is straightforward. What do we have? The pH is what?
Basic.
Let me just make copies of this for the next ones, so I don't have to. Were you guys able to do things already? Were you able to solve problems? Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
I was actually about to ask, because I know you changed to 26. Are you okay if if someone were to submit the old?
You know what? The old ones sometimes, I think there were typos. The values did not match. A bunch of them didn't work out. So
Okay.
if you got it, you know, I'm not sure, because I found two of them did not, you know, like the values were not in accordance to the other. Like when the CO2 goes down, you expect the HCO3 to go down. Otherwise, you can't diagnose that.
Okay.
You know, so in the other one was going up, one was coming down, even though this is alkalotic. So it doesn't work. Usually they go together here.
Okay.
So that's where the issue was. So
Okay. So to get credit, just use the ones you just updated with.
You just copy and paste this question, maybe 26, and
Okay.
that would be, and then, but these were okay, these were okay, but only 26 was, a little bit loud.
Okay.
All right, so let's do this here. So what do we have? We have pH is what?
Alkali.
Basic.
Basic, so it goes in here. All right. What about PaCO2?
Basic.
Good.
Yeah.
And HCO3?
Acidic.
Acidic.
By the way, if you notice that you will never have like the 3 running in the same line. If you do, then there's an issue here. Unless if it's what? Combined, you see? And it's uncompensated. It's uncompensated because the pH is not changing at all. And this one, but uncompensated would be this, at least you have to have one normal of these, either this one or this one. So you should not have the 3 lining in here. You should have one either here or here. Because as soon as you have one here, then it's compensated. We'll do it in a second here. So let's look at this. So what is your diagnosis here?
Respiratory alkalosis partially compensated.
Respiratory alkalosis. Okay, so which one is it? Respiratory alkalosis, partially compensated. So partially compensated. This would be your answer, correct? Make sense, you guys?
Yes.
All right, that's easy. How about this one? So pH, this one, where does it go?
Normal.
Acid or base? With the normal. Okay.
Normal.
All right, what about this guy?
Basic.
No.
Acidic.
Okay.
It's normal.
He's normal. He's normal. Sorry, he's normal.
All right. What about this guy?
Normal.
As is he.
Is it acidic?
Normal.
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 So what do you got there?
Normal.
What's your
Normal.
diagnosis?
Normal.
All right. What about this?
Basic.
I did. Okay. So pH is what?
Basic.
How about PaCO2?
Basic as well. And then the last one's normal.
All right, you tell me now.
Respiratory alkalosis uncompensated.
Everyone got one? Got that one? Is that understood why?
Yes.
Makes sense to me.
So as soon as this is not changing at all with the normal, that means we haven't compensated anything. It's uncompensated, but it's still respiratory alkalosis. How about this? pH is what?
Acidic.
What about this?
Acidic.
Is it too acidic or just barely acidic?
Barely acidic.
Fairly acidic.
What's? Yeah, so 45, so barely acidic. How about this?
That's basic.
Basic.
Okay, what's your diagnosis?
Respiratory acidosis partially compensated.
How about this one? pH is what?
Acidic.
Is it?
It's barely acidic.
Good job. What's normal?
7.3.
7.35.
So it's close, but it's not, it's still acidic, you see? How about this?
That is basic, barely basic, or basic, not barely.
How about this?
Acidic.
Acidic.
So what's your diagnosis?
Metabolic acidosis, partially compensated.
Mhm. What about this?
Yeah, just
Basic.
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 Acid or base?
Basic.
Basic.
That's normal. No, sorry.
No, it's basic.
That's
It's basic.
basic. Yeah, basic. Sorry.
This?
Acidic.
Oh, the PCA2. The
Isn't this still
PCA2
too
is
basic?
basic.
It's basic.
What's your diagnosis?
No, so Dr. J, you have to,
It goes flipped.
yeah, it's the other one.
Yeah, you gotta flip the two.
Oh,
Yeah,
what did I do?
bicarbonate.
The bicarbonate.
Yeah. Bicarbonate goes in acidosis.
And then carbon dioxide.
Alkalosis, PCO2 is, oh, who was giving me this without, okay. All right, so there we go. All right, now it makes sense, right? So this is acidosis, alkalosis here, so it's the diagnosis.
Respiratory alkalosis partially compensated.
Mhm. Okay, let's do this one. Should have had it here, but okay, let me see. Hmm. Oh, well, anyways, okay, let's do it. So what do we got here?
Normal.
Normal. That's normal.
This.
That's acidic.
About this.
And then basic.
All right. Which direction is it moving? Basic or acidic?
Basic.
So what's your diagnosis?
Metabolic alkalosis, fully compensated.
Mhm. Mhm. Is it fully compensated?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. So metabolic alkalosis, fully compensated. What about this?
Basic.
Basic.
Oh, can't see. Acidic.
Acidic.
Basic.
What do you got?
Metabolic alkalosis partially compensated.
About this?
Basic.
This?
Basic.
Basic.
This?
Normal.
Normal.
So that'd be metabolic alkalosis.
Respiratory.
Respiratory alkalosis.
Uncompensated.
You guys hold on 1 second, okay? Just hang in there a little bit. I'm gonna put you on pause. Okay, can you hear me, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. Can you see still the chart or no?
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that. I had to do one thing with it. All right, so what do we got here? So the diagnosis would be?
Respiratory alkalosis.
Uncompensated.
I'm saying
Compensated. Respiratory alkalosis, uncompensated, right there. Okay, fantastic. Doing great. What about this?
it hasn't moved from the previous problem.
No, yeah.
That's the same? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Frozen, kind of.
frozen. Yeah, there's nothing's moving.
Oh, got you. Okay. How about now?
Yeah.
We're good?
Perfect.
All right. What about this?
Normal. That's
Normal.
normal. Acidic. Then basic.
All right, so now what?
Isn't it combined?
Respiratory acidosis.
Is it mixed?
Metabolic?
Is it mixed?
Would it be metabolic?
Yeah.
Alkalosis fully compensated?
Yes, that's what I think too.
It's in the middle.
But the PaCO2 is 59, so that's higher.
Yeah, I would say respiratory acidosis fully compensated.
Yeah, but I thought the higher one meant it was compensating.
Okay, so what's the difference here?
That's a 14. The other one's 9.
All right. So this one is respiratory alkalosis. And then we, because again, now we measure. Remember I said, okay, Betsy, this is the one that we're talking about now. So this is freaking out a little bit. So this is actually the number, okay? So let me just think about it here. So, you know what? This is respiratory alkalosis, actually. Respiratory 7.4. So 59 is acid, and this is this. Yeah, it's respiratory acidosis. Okay, this is respiratory acidosis more. I know I mentioned in class that this is actually it's the other way around, Betsy. You know, sorry. I know now this is because you just go with whatever higher. You know, it's not. There was a different problem that I was looking at, but this is actually respiratory acidosis, and why you go with the higher number? Because this one is higher, so it moves toward this one. So it's actually respiratory acidosis, you know, fully compensated.
So you do that when the pH is at 7.4. You go with the higher one.
Yeah, you go with the higher number because you're moving in this direction. That's it. So this is more. So it's more acidotic. This one is trying to actually, you know, for these problems, go with the higher number for your diagnosis. And then if this is actually moving, that means you are being compensated. It did move, you know. And if it's exactly 7.4, all right, then you follow the higher number. Makes
So
more
if
sense.
if the pH was like more basic, then it would be the metabolic.
Then you move toward the base for sure.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
if this is for 1 or for 2 or so, then you're moving in that direction here.
Right.
But if it's exactly this, that was where I think Betsy was asking if it's exactly 7.4, how would we know? Then you move toward the highest number that is higher. You know, I mean, this is highest, and this is trying to compensate for it a little bit, but this is actually the original diagnosis. And with something like this, when you get something like this, usually it comes in a scenario. It comes in as, you know, like people having, you know, a person having pneumonia or something, respiratory issues, right? Then right away it gives you a little bit more. But if you have nothing at all and you are exactly 7.4, okay, then you move with the highest number. And, you know, I saw different problems, not this, but a different problems where the numbers were really off, you know, and then that's where one number was really went off the limits. It wasn't like within range. This is within range, you know, like 14 points and 9 points, but the other one was way off the chart. That's why it was diagnosed differently. But this is, if you get something like 7.4 exactly, move it toward the higher. I don't know if I have this problem on a test, but in your practice, you know, if you get someone, my God, a 7.4 exactly, and you don't have any history, and this, then follow the higher differential.
Dr. J, I don't know if this is ever going to happen, but what if like the acidotic and alkalosis have the same number, like moved up the same, like moved down the same number?
Now you're killing me here. Okay, then it's you gotta look at the history. You know, I mean, there's no way. You know, you get a lab report without actually a little bit. I mean, usually the first thing you want to, you see, we're making it harder here because I'm giving you nothing, you know. But trust me, you know, when a patient comes in, they're gonna have symptoms, and right away you can see if respiratory or if it's metabolic. You know, if somebody's coming hyperventilation or pneumonia or diagnosed with this or coughing or anything lung, anything respiratory is usually, you know, respiratory automatically. Now your diagnosis is whether it's, you know, is it acidosis or is it alkalosis? Then you look at the pH, right? And then you can tell if it's moving toward the acid part, then it's more acidotic. If it's moving toward the basic, then it's alkalotic, right? And usually you have a higher number than the norm. But if it's normal, then you just put 7.4 as the middle, and then you just move yourself higher or lower. Yeah, so. All right, good enough? So you guys are champs in this now, so you can answer anything. So how about this one here? Who's gonna answer this one? Try and do it on a piece of paper in front of you and see if you can give me the answer. You got it? Anybody?
A.
Okay. All right. So let's do this and see. So PCO2 is 16. Where does this go?
Base.
How about HCO3?
That's acidic.
Acidotic.
Way acidotic, isn't it? How about this?
Acidic. That's why I messed up.
So your diagnosis is?
Metabolic acidosis.
Okay, partially compensated. Okay, do this.
Oh,
Sorry. Sorry. Even though it doesn't say partially or fully, tell me.
Metabolic alkalosis partially compensated.
Okay. Where's your pH?
base.
Where's the PCO2?
Base.
Acid.
Yeah, acid. Acid.
And if you, what about this?
Base.
So,
Metabolic alkalosis.
Partially compensated.
Partially compensated.
this one?
pH is acidic.
Way acidic, huh? Yeah. How about
Aren't
this?
they all acidic?
Acidic.
All of them are acidic.
Okay.
So it'd be the simultaneous respiratory and metabolic acidosis?
Dr. J, does that question work? Because aren't PaCO2 and bicarbonate, aren't they supposed to go up or down together?
Mm-hmm. That's why it's trying to compensate, but it's not doing it. So it is acidosis in both cases, but it's uncompensated. So if you compensate correctly, and that's what I was going with the other problems that I changed in 26, because most of them will be something similar to that. So here, what's going on? You have acidosis, this is acidotic, and this is acidotic. So neither are compensating at all because they're both happening together. This is severe situations when this happens. This is like chronic, you know, this is death. So when you are close to death, this happens. It doesn't happen all the time, of course, you know. So this is when your kidney shut down and your breathing shut down, you end up having this. No one is compensating. You go into this situation here. Okay, what about this? Nervous, breathing rapidly. That means it's hyperventilation, right?
Yeah,
So what do you get
respiratory-
when you hyperventilate?
Respiratory
acidosis?
alkalosis?
Yeah.
Why alkalosis?
Because you're letting out a lot of CO2 with the hyperventilation.
Yep, correct. What about this? Renal failure, missed her dialysis, feeling sick.
Metabolic acidosis.
Because you're retaining the acid.
So it's metabolic. As soon as you see kidney or vomiting or anything besides respiratory, right? It's metabolic. That means body. So she's feeling sick. Now, missed her dialysis and feeling sick. So when you miss your dialysis, what happens to you? You retain what?
Hydrogen ions.
You retain acid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you retain acid. You're unable to reabsorb base. Okay. Okay. So this is basically what? Do you understand? You know, in this case, what are we having? We're having the kidney. Nephrons are unable to what? Reabsorb what?
Base.
So when you are unable, because it's failing, right? So you're unable to reabsorb the HCO3 that's coming out. So when this happens, then automatically you retain acid. You have a higher acid than base, so it's your metabolic acidosis. What about this?
Respiratory acidosis,
Why is that?
because you're holding on to too much CO2, so that could cause feelings of
As what?
suffocation. You're holding on to too much CO2 in the body.
Yeah. So when you're unable to breathe, okay, that means you're going to keep all the CO2 inside. So you're going to be acidotic. And it's breathing, so it's respiratory acidosis. Correct. Very good. So, so you're really champion in this. You're pretty good at it. So, let's practice some more. All right. Okay. Who wants to give me one?
I can, if one wants to.
Go ahead, Steph.
Okay, so a patient has a pH of 7.42.
Okay,
And
so let's put down acid, normal, base. All right. All right, so what's your question again? Hold on,
so
okay. pH is what?
7.42.
7.42.
Yeah, and then PaCO2 is 55.
Okay.
And H bicarbonate is 35.
Okay. All right, you guys do this. And tell me your diagnosis. Anyone came up with the answer?
Would it be alkalosis fully compensated?
Okay. Let's find out. pH 7.4, is that acid or base?
I have something else.
Normal.
Normal, but more basic.
Normal, more towards base.
Okay, well, where do you fit this in? Is it normal
Normal.
range? Is it acid?
It's within normal. It's within
Normal.
normal.
Normal range, okay. How about this guy?
Acid.
Acid or base?
Acid.
Acid.
How about this guy?
Base.
She gave a good question, because if this is down here, then it'll be, you know. All right. So so this is going in what direction in this case?
Or basic?
Base.
Going
Basic.
towards basic.
More
What's
going
the
towards
difference?
there.
Okay.
Okay, so what's your diagnosis?
Metabolic alkalosis or compensated?
Absolutely. All right, who wants to give me a challenging one? Betsy, give me a challenging one. Come on.
Okay, here. I got one.
Go ahead.
Let's see. pH 7.31. CO2 is 34. And carb is 21.
All right, what do you guys think?
Just figure out the top of my head.
Work it out.
Metabolic acidosis uncompensated?
All right, let's work this out. 7.31 is what?
Acid?
Acid.
ECO2 is what?
Normal?
I don't know.
Is it acid or base?
Basic.
Basic.
This one?
Acid.
Acid.
Acid or base there? Acid or base?
Acid.
Acid.
Diagnosis?
Metabolic acidosis.
Metabolic
Partially
acidosis.
compensated.
Partially compensated.
Partially?
Yep.
It's barely partially. I mean, about 74, yeah. All right, who wants to give me another one? Give me something challenging for them. Give me something with normal stuff. Very close. Aaron, give me one. Come on. Let's challenge
Okay.
them.
All right. Let's do 7.4. 40 PCO2 and 30 bicarb.
Good job. Okay. What do you guys think? So go ahead and do it, and then we'll work it out together.
That's
All right. What's the pH?
Normal?
Normal.
Normal.
Which is, yeah, that's for down the whole thing. So, because it's exactly 7.4. All right. And PCO2 is what?
Normal?
Normal.
Normal.
Is it normal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's in the
35
lower
to 40,
values.
35 to 45. Yeah.
What about this guy?
Basic.
Base.
What is this?
Basic.
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 Yeah, I thought.
All right. Now what? This is nice, Aaron. Good Good try. So what do we have here?
Metabolic.
Metabolic alkalosis uncompensated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's close to the north.
Absolutely. You guys got that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should.
That was a hard one.
Yeah, I should let him make some questions. So, is it compensated?
No.
It's not.
Good job. You have another one? See, now it's giving you the ability to even think fast. You see how? Just practicing this, you'll be able to come up with questions right away. So those questions will be a piece of cake for you guys on the test. All right, so what do you think? Who wants to give me something now?
pH 7.26. PCO2 63. And 25, could that work?
Okay.
No, right? It has to go up.
No, well.
No, that's fine. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's
Doesn't
within
have
that.
to if then you're going a different direction, right? All right, let's do this. So what do we got?
Acid.
This is acid.
And then normal. Then normal. So in that case, respiratory
It'd be
acidosis,
respiratory.
Uncompensated.
Yeah, uncompensated.
Did I get that right?
So,
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So this
Sorry about that. I'm just mainly trying to figure out the difference between respiratory and
Dang,
metabolic
bro,
when it was called or what.
Bro, there are young ears here.
Dude, I apologize immediately. It's just like I'm just trying to figure out when it's a respiratory versus metabolic. That's been throwing me through a loop. Starting to slow
Dude,
me
I
get it.
texted it to you.
Oh, yeah, but reading it, it's applying it.
fantastic. So you guys are on a roll here. All right. What else do we have? Give me one that has both metabolic acidosis and alkalosis uncompensated. Can you have both compensated?
Yes.
Can you?
Is this a trick?
It is a trick,
Compensated, isn't that normal, Dr. J?
Yeah. Can you have both and then compensated?
Wouldn't that just be normal
suppose not.
values?
Yeah.
So can I have this and this? Is this compensated or uncompensated here?
Uncompensated.
It's uncompensated, 6.90. Can I have this and this? All right, so this one is what? This is acidotic. How about if I move this here?
To where?
If I put down 7.22, no, hold on, 37. What do you think of this now? Could this happen?
I don't think so.
Is this acidosis or alkalosis here?
It's more towards
Acidosis.
acidosis.
So
I think it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, it's more towards acid.
It's an
so
acid.
I mean,
it's
it's
acidosis. So
because
which one is
you have
it?
a low I think it's respiratory
Bicarb.
acidosis.
Mhm. So is it metabolic or is it respiratory?
Respiratory?
Say it's respiratory because the
It's moving
difference
towards
between
the
the normal
acidic?
value and
So which one
Yeah.
is higher? So
I
this
say
one, what's the lowest range on HCO3?
22.
22.
22.
2 minus 13 is what?
9. 9.
9.
What you said.
What is that? 9?
9.
9.
How
I
about
can math. All right.
what is it?
45.
Can you math, bro?
So 68 minus 45.
23. 23.
So which
Why
is
is my math
bigger?
my
Yeah.
best subject?
So this is bigger. So it's
Right.
what?
Yeah.
So
Respiratory.
then a diagnosis would be
Respiratory.
Respiratory acidosis.
acidosis. Is it compensated?
It's uncompensated.
Uncompensated.
Or is it?
No,
Yeah,
it's fully compensated because it's still within
Is it-
normal values. It's still within
That's-
normal values.
Yeah.
Is it partially or is it
But
full?
I think it's partial because they're going in the opposite direction.
Right. So what's your diagnosis?
Respiratory
acidosis.
I say fully still because it's still within normal values. Because the pH is still within that normal range. It's moving towards acidic.
Or
But it's still within
partial.
its
I think
normal
it's partial
values.
I think it's partial compensation.
I
Is it
think it's
partial or is it
fully.
fully?
I think
I
it's
think
fully because it's
I'm
within
saying it was
normal.
fully.
But that's not
Yeah,
an
fully.
actual lab value we would get, right?
If you
Because
get something, yeah,
Because how
Yeah.
would it make it
absolutely.
normal if they're both going acidic?
Right. You know, you have to have one of them here. But if you, like if you get a pH like this, my God, and you get an upside down something like this, even though this is normal, this is abnormal. So maybe this patient is you can't have this and this because the pH is not going to be normal if you have acidic as an acidic. You got to balance it out somehow. Now, is there a way where, how about if I give you something basic from outside? Can you have this?
Yeah. I
HCO.
would say, yeah.
What other buffers can I give you? Because this is a buffer and this is a buffer. This is lung, this is kidney. Is there anything else that I can give you to bring this into an acidic type of value?
Phosphate.
Maybe give volume or something.
What are the
balance it
other
out?
What are the other buffers that we discussed? If it's chemical, we have the phosphate,
Protein.
proteins. These are the only two, and the other way, then it's kidney and So phosphate, if your phosphate is so high, or you have increased amino acids. Okay, this is made out of amino acids. Right now, I can give you. You could be on what we call hyperalimentation. Okay. We can give you this with a bunch of amino acids, and if I give you a lot of amino acids, then you can buffer it up because this is, this is also a buffer. Now, is it possible? It is possible, but I don't. Honestly, I'm just playing with you here. I'm trying to make sense if we can do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what kind of shape would this person be in general?
Terrible, terrible. But here you put somebody on hyperalimentation and give them a lot of proteins, albumins usually, that's what it is. Is it possible to bring their pH up to normal? There's a possibility. But his bicarb and PCO2 is up. This one is up, this one is down, but they're acidic. So we can buffer you up with some proteins to bring the pH up if this is not functioning. Is it doable? I don't know. I never, been faced with this. So maybe that could be a nice thing to look up. If there's a way you can buffer somebody up with both abnormal and bringing the pH up to normal. Who wants to look that up for me? Who's the research person here? Who wants to look it up? Find out whether it's possible to bring the pH up with both abnormal HCO3 and PCO2. Whoever wants to look it up, you guys, and then maybe bring it to class or something. That would be a nice, thing for you to do. It's a challenge. I'll look it up myself too. I think it's possible, but because here, I mean, that makes sense. And this is usually when we give you hyperalimentation with amino acids in it, then that's basically a buffer, and then that can really bring it up. So, anyways, very nice. What else? Anybody wants to give us another one here? Before you want to do the other questions, or you're okay with the others?
Okay,
It's
with
okay.
the others.
I'm good.
I'm
I can do some I can do
kind
them
of
for
curious
practice.
to see.
Yeah.
Kind of curious to see, like, oh, never mind.
What's up? Go ahead, Aaron.
Oh, no, never mind. I was gonna say, like,
It's okay. Think with
there-
us. I mean, I know you're
yeah.
thinking.
Is there anything else that you can tell us to review for the exam or something like that?
Well, make sure you do all these questions here, because all this is going to be on a test. See that? So
Okay.
if you know this very well, make sure you understand what they are.
Okay.
And the mechanism behind them. Like if you move fluids from one to the other, whether it's osmotic, whether it's oncotic, hydrostatic, sensible versus insensible, fluids. Every one of these will get at least a question or so. So you guys good with calculations here? Very easy, right?
Calculate
try
fluid.
it?
Can you go over that one really quick? Just that
Yeah.
one.
So what's the percentage of fluid that the child have usually in their body?
Isn't it 80%?
80%. So what's 80% of his weight? He weighs what? 60 pounds?
Yes.
Oh, 48.
So what would
It
that
doesn't
equal
say-
to?
48.
He goes to what? 48? Okay. So 48 liters.
That's for the child.
No, 48.
Wait.
That's
It doesn't say what the child weighs, Dr. J.
Say again?
Yeah.
It doesn't say what weight the child is. It just says a
Yeah,
10-year-old child.
I just guessed the average weight of
Oh.
a 10-year-old child.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. It's like no weight.
Yeah.
Like
80
I don't know
kilo
what to do.
male and 60 pounds female. Yeah. So 80 kilo is how many pounds?
It is
106. Oh no.
no.
22 times what?
2.
2 times
2.2.
times
Yeah,
what?
80 times
2.2.
2.2. 80 times 2.2 is
176.
2.2 times 80 is what?
that's big kid.
How much? 160?
176.
176.
All right. So this guy weighs.
Wouldn't you multiply the 80? Wait, are you multiplying by the 80%, Dr. J?
Yeah.
You need to wait first.
Wouldn't you want to
Well,
multiply
this
by
one is
the
80 kilo. If
Well-
you multiply that by
I put pounds first.
Oh,
this
okay.
is pounds. This is
Yeah,
pounds.
you
So-
gotta put pounds first.
So this is pounds, and this is pounds now. So the male is 176 pounds, and the female is this. So it's two different problems.
Okay.
But their children, so 80%. What is the female has a little bit what, less or more? Just a little bit less, right? Remember?
Mhm.
But if it's 80% for the male, then it could be
80% is for the child, Dr. J. 60%, I think, is for the male.
Yeah, and it's like 55 for the female.
Yeah.
Okay, so 80% is for who?
The child or the infant?
Yeah, the
Oh,
child.
yeah. Okay, so the regular male is 60, right?
I'm so lost.
Oh no, that's 8. Okay. That's kilogram. This is fine. This stays the same. But this one, so yeah, for the male, he's an adult. That's what question is bad here. So calculate, and 60 pounds female and 10 pounds child. I don't know what I'm asking here.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
said
think it was. I
10-year-old
think it was.
child.
I think calculate for 176-pound male, 60-pound female, and a 10-year-old child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which we had to guess the average
three
weight
different
of a
ones.
10-year-old
All
child.
right. Okay.
Yeah,
now,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, it was
That's
like
what I
no
thought.
weight or anything, and I was just very confused. Like, I don't know what we're being asked here.
It makes sense now. Okay. I couldn't even. Yeah. I just put that down there just to, okay, to confuse you. Okay, so I confuse myself also sometimes. All right, so 80%. So for the male is what? 60%, right?
Yeah.
Is an
Yeah,
adult? So
and,
60 times what is the pounds here? We said 100.
176.
Okay.
105.6.
105.6. It's lots of liters there. God, it's a lot of water in here. So, what about this one here? This is straightforward. Female. So female is what? 55.
Yeah.
Right, times 60. That's equals to what?
33.
And 10-year-old child. Well, this is straightforward. The child has roughly what in there? What is it? 80?
About 65. So, yeah, 65 for at least for a 5-year-old child on your chart.
65 for a 5-year-old?
For a 5-year-old, yeah, but I didn't know if that applied for a 10-year-old.
But this is a little bit older, so anyways, it'll be female or a male, and then I'll give you the weight for one. You have a weight, so just multiply by the weight.
Oh, you don't want that in pounds or
So
kilos?
just think of it 60 or 55, and yeah, I'll look at the question again and make sure that it makes sense. If I put it in a crazy way, I'll look at it. I'll make sure that it makes sense. So I'll review it. But this is what you do. You just multiply by whatever percentage it is. It'll give you how much fluid. All right, what about this one here? What are the main causes? Extracellular deficits. So what are some of the causes for extracellular?
Wait, I have a question
Yeah.
really quick about the volume that we were just calculating.
About this thing?
Yeah, so you put that
Yeah, you just
60%. So 105.
Excuse me.
105 would be 60% of the weight. How come? How did we get liters? Is like 1 liter equal to 1 pound?
Yeah, so it's 105.6 pounds. Okay, pounds. So this is how much
Pounds of fluid,
so,
but isn't fluid
yeah,
in liters?
105 out of the 176 is water. It's fluid.
105 pounds is fluid.
105
liters.
pounds contains fluid. So fluid in the so 105 pounds of his weight is fluid.
Oh, okay. I thought we had to like convert it to liters or something, but no. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
So 105 pounds is fluid. And this one is 33 pounds is fluid. So 55% of the 60 is 33 fluid, and the rest is everything else. This one is 105.6 of the 176 is fluid. Not liters, but pounds that contains fluid.
Okay, thanks.
Right, so extracellular fluid deficit. So it could be, if let's say vascular, what would that be? Some issues with vascular, and then put down interstitial. So what would be some of the problems with vascular? Blood vessel. How can you lose fluid in the blood vessels?
Isn't there like if there's a high concentration of like a sodium or something in the extracellular cell, you would want to move into?
Okay, so if you can bleed, lose all that, and what else can you do? Can you how can you lose water? Do you retain sodium or do you lose sodium?
Lose sodium.
Lose.
So hyponatremia, how is that? That make sense?
Yeah.
What else can you? What other ways can you lose fluids?
Diaphoresis.
Yeah, diuretics.
Oh, no, I said diaphoresis, but that works too.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you mean just sweating, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. What else? How about interstitial?
Metabolic and endocrine disorders.
Metabolic disorders. What do you mean?
I guess endocrine. Well, mainly endocrine disorders.
That's okay. How about now? You said sweating. Can that affect also, like, we're gonna call it dehydration here. Okay. How about if we call this dehydration? So if we call this dehydration, can that affect only the vascular, or can it affect also the interstitial?
I think it can affect both.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can be dehydrated and lose fluid from both, not only the vascular. Because as soon as you start losing fluids from here, the interstitial is going to move into the vascular to substitute. So you lose fluid from the interstitial area. What about the cells? Are you going to lose fluid from them to go into the interstitial?
Yes.
Yes. So it's a continuous process, isn't it? So your body's trying to compensate by losing fluid from the intercellular to interstitial to the vascular. So all that can lead to so dehydration is one. Right. So that's how about vomiting, diarrhea, or anything like that? Can you lose fluid from that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. So you can vomit. What about, okay, the cations here indicates serum osmolality of a patient. There are few that we talked about. What are the major one that we know?
Sodium,
right?
magnesium, calcium.
Magnesium and calcium.
Chloride. Right?
Isn't chloride a anion, not a cation?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Okay, magnesium, calcium. All right, good.
I thought potassium was an anion.
So
Or,
indicate the
I'm
axis of
sorry.
the following.
Oh, I
So
know.
this is from your charts. What's that?
Never mind. Never
Okay.
mind.
Yeah. So this is straight from the charts, right? So which one, by the way, so potassium works with what usually? So potassium and hydrogen, okay? They have an invert relationship, or do they have the similar relationship?
Inverse.
Inverse.
Right. So what else? How about sodium and potassium?
Inverse relationship.
Okay. So this one is inverse also. So okay, what about sodium? What does it go with usually? Sodium, again, potassium, right? And what else does it go with? How about chloride? It goes along with chloride. So sodium goes up, chloride comes down. How about chloride? And so this is inverse. How about chloride? Is it inverse or is it same? Usually it's same. They go together. Sodium and chloride, they go together.
Is it not calcium that goes with sodium?
Calcium goes opposite of sodium. So so it depends on. So calcium, what does it go? Let's look at the chart. I think I have a chart somewhere here.
I thought calcium and sodium were similar.
Isn't it calcium and magnesium that move the
Sodium,
same?
calcium.
According to the chart, sodium and calcium are similar.
Let's look. There somewhere. Let me see if I can find it in a second. All right, so let me share it with you. Okay, so yeah, sodium and calcium, they go together. Okay, so sodium and potassium inverse, calcium and potassium inverse. Well, you know, as far as calcium and potassium inverse, then calcium and sodium would be also going the same direction, because this one is up, this one is up, down, so they go in the same direction. So as far as you know one, you know the other one is going to go same direction as is. So all these are going the same direction, so they have also similar direction, all these here. As far as they go up, all of them, you know, then they're usually together. You know, opposite would be a different story. All right, so these are inverse. Phosphate and calcium are inverse because they have something to do with the bone. So calcium goes up, phosphate comes down. Sodium and chloride, they go together. Sodium and chloride. And potassium and chloride also. Potassium is opposite, because potassium is opposite of sodium anyways. Okay, so sodium and calcium, they go together. Sodium has to do with water. Calcium has to do with clotting and bones and all that. So, okay. HCl, hydrochloric acid, because it has to be with fluids also. So hydrogen goes up, Cl goes up. Magnesium, calcium goes up together. So sodium, calcium, magnesium, they go in one direction. Up, up, up. Potassium up. Yeah, I mean, we know about the pumps, sodium potassium pump. The only one that, goes inside by itself is magnesium, probably, and calcium. So let's share another one. Right back to share. Okay, so yeah, just make sure that you know the inversion. Clinical electrolytes. So this is just electrolytes. Put the manifestation, put the intervention. Kalemia, again, contractor, so if you have too much calcium, you contract. Hypokalemia would be what? So you relax in this. It's the opposite of this guy. Natremia is for water. Natremia is for water in general. Calcemia is, again, we said calcium is bone, clotting, neurological. Magnesium, relaxer. So magnesium is a relaxer. If you have hypermagnesium, then you relax. Hypomagnesium, you contract. Chlorine for water, phosphate for bone in general. Right. Are we okay with this reaction here? If we go from here to here, so which part is the respiratory? This one or this one?
The left one.
The left one. So this is respiratory. So if we move from here to here, we're moving to the respiratory. If we're moving from here to here, we're moving kidney. So this side is kidney, this side is respiratory. Gas exchange, hyperventilation, hypoventilation, we know about this, right? So which CO2 and O2, which one goes up, which one comes down? Okay, acidosis, alkalosis, we know very well about it. Dehydration. Lab values, make sure you know the numbers here, so put those down. I think I have one question on this, which is the normal value for so-and-so. All right, so yeah, this is just put your charts together and then you'll be in good shape. Do you want me to open this up until Sunday, the test, instead of just Friday and Saturday, or you're fine with Friday and Saturday?
I'm sure one day wouldn't hurt.
I mean, it doesn't matter,
But,
honestly.
yeah.
As long as we're on time, it's
What's that?
fine.
Okay, you know what? I'll open it up. I'll open it up the whole weekend. This way, just if somebody needs a little extra time on Sunday, it's fine. I want you to do well. I want you to get some nice grades. So make sure you study the practice, the problems, and do this. I think with the acidosis, alkalosis, whoever is here today, I think you're in good shape. You'll be able to answer those questions. All right, you guys, are we all good? Any questions at all? Anything before we move? All these are straightforward. Just practice and study as much as you can out of this.
He said like at least a couple questions will come out of each one of these on the focus points.
Yeah, if you're unable to do one, just send me an email, and then we can discuss it if you have any questions at all on one of the questions. Okay. Yeah, I'll be happy to help. Now, are the tutors doing tutoring at all? Do you guys know?
I don't know.
Supposedly, I think the Roosevelt ones are supposed to have one at 4.
Okay, so you haven't received any emails from them?
No.
No,
I think the one professor's having one. I think the one professor's having one. I think like Aaron said, I have 4, but.
Wait, hold on. I have the one from
the
Parth.
Prail.
Yeah, it's at 4, and it's with Parth.
Today with Parth? Okay. All right.
And it's over acid base.
I
Okay.
think it's pretty much what you covered, like literally just
Yeah,
now. I'm
it's
pretty sure that's what it is.
now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you become you're tutors now yourself, so you just challenge them. You'll
Yeah,
be
we can help. We have each
Good
other.
luck
We
with
can
that.
help.
yeah. So you're fine.
Yeah, I got Aaron if I need assistance.
Yep, you're good at it now. So, all right, fantastic. Okay, guys, so I'll see you. I'll open up this exam the whole weekend. This way you can just study more, dig it when
All right,
you're.
thank you.
right.
Thank you, Dr. J.
All right, guys, I'll see you. Take
Yeah,
care.
thanks, Dr. J.
Thank
All
you.
right,
You
Be
too.
safe.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thanks, bye.